So tonight we're doing the amber room, which is like if someone stole an entire glowing room off the walls and then the earth just swallowed it.
And not just stole. Like, the Amber Room was the most famous missing artwork in modern history. Because it wasn't a painting that you can just roll up, it was an entire chamber of amber panels, gildings, mirrors, mosaics. It was all installed like architecture. Then, in World War II, it gets dismantled, crated, shipped, and then vanished.
Understand how insane that is. This isn't like, where's my necklace? This is like, where the hell is my room?
Yeah, pretty much. Tonight, we're going to do the full autopsy. Where it originated, how it ended up in Russia, who took it, where the trail ends, and the theories about where it could be now. And yes, there are first-hand accounts, including letters, official reports, and diary notes for the people who searched the ruins afterwards.
Also, if you're new here, hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Samantha. I'm the historian. I like to ruin dates with all sorts of different historical things you may not care about, but it's dark history.
Welcome back to Exhumed.
So, in 1941, the Nazis have taken Yefim Pushkin. These are a lot of like German and Russian names. I'm sorry for anyone who understands. I'm not going to be able to say things correctly.
Just do your best.
So the Catherine Palace is wounded, gutted, pillaged, and inside there's a room called the Eighth Wonder of the World. Curators try to save it, try to dismantle it, but the amber has aged, it's brittle, and it crumbles. So they do something very desperate. They try to hide it in plain sight. They cover it with wallpaper and plaster. Like, pretend it's not there. An entire room.
That's crazy.
But the German troops find it anyways. And then, this is one thing in history that's constantly repeated, so it's gotta be true. They dismantle it very fast, in 36 hours. It's broken down and packed into 27 crates. And then comes the last clean moment in history where it was actually recorded. Königsberg Castle in Prussia. Today it's called Kaliningrad. The Amber Room is put on display. There's even headlines announcing it. So the room is stolen and then immediately used as a trophy.
Wow.
Then the war turns. Yeah. Then the war turns. Bombs fall, the castle burns, the paper trail stops, and what happens next is a complete mystery.
So the trophy part, they steal it and then they put it on exhibit like, look what we were able to steal. Look what we have now. Wow, that's bold.
Well, before we continue with the story and actually get into the details, you need to know what the room was actually like and how it was created. It was created between 1701 and 1707. It was 590 square feet, 129 panels. It was 13 feet tall. Over 13,000 pounds of amber was used. All the amber was carved, but on top of it was mirrors, gold leaves. There's about 560 candles that lit the room.
Wow.
To make it all shine. Modern estimates of the room value from a range of $142 million to $500 million. It's leaning closer towards the $500 million, though.
No wonder they wanted it.
Amber isn't a stone. It's fossilized resin. It's ancient tree sap, hardened over millions of years. It was Baltic amber. It especially came from a region that used thick prehistoric pine forest. So this amber is extremely old.
Mm-hmm. Amber's
And,
really cool, too.
Yeah. And, it glowed because of how old it was. And that's why they used all the candles and mirrors that they did to make the entire room glow as though, you're looking through honey. The way that honey shines. So imagine a couple of amber beads.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine entire wall panels being covered with all of that. That's the
really
room.
Cool.
And it was a political flex too. Look what I have.
Of course.
So the origin story is the Amber Room begins in Prussia in the early 1700s. The idea is taking shape around 1701 during the reign of Frederick I of Prussia. Multiple sources describe it as prestige project that was supposed to compete with so many other places in the world, like Versailles. Is that how you say it? It's in France.
Sounds right.
I cannot pronounce I'm horrible at pronouncing words as it is. The craftsmanship of the amber panels was supposed to be international. they call it the eighth wonder of the world because of how intricate all the pieces were. But it's also very fragile and complicated. It takes years to assemble all this. It gets stalled, court politics shift, and then Frederick I dies in 1713, and then the project was unfinished. His successor doesn't care about the art the way that his predecessor did. Some sources describe him as being like military-minded and unimpressed by anything extravagant. He was more level-headed. So it gets packed up, stored away, like it was a luxury mistake. Completely forgotten about. But then in 1716, Tsars Peter the Great visits Prussia, sees the amber panels, and Frederick I offers them as like a diplomatic gift to solidify an alliance. He's like, here, I don't want to take it.
Wow.
That's definitely a power move and a great way to make an alliance.
Yeah.
So, of course, the amber room is now a political object. It ships to Russia in large boxes. One account says 18 large boxes early on moves through like imperial spaces and then finds its way to the Catherine Palace, which is outside of St. Petersburg in Russia. Before it disappears, the amber room becomes mythic while it's still real. This thing it's very wealthy. It's something no one's ever seen before.
So it becomes mythic even when it's a myth to people, even though they can actually go and see that it's true? That it's
If you
real?
haven't seen it, if you haven't seen it, then it's not real until you actually see it.
Okay.
That's how grand all of this is.
Okay.
Visitors write about it. Accounts describe being stunned by its warmth and light. There was one modern retelling of a story where a German chambermaid reportedly glimpsed in it and wrote that she was so awestruck, saying that its price was beyond calculation. Like, I can't believe that this is a thing in front of me.
Yeah.
Well, when something becomes a story that people are compelled to repeat, it becomes a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Its disappearance now becomes bigger than a loss. It becomes an obsession. Okay, so we've got the legendary room. It moved across Europe by kings and tsars. And then World War II shows up like a wrecking ball. All right, so now we're in World War II, and everyone remembers it's Germany, it's the world, it's Nazis, it's all the things that we don't really want to talk about on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in 1941. Germany invades the Soviet Union. Cultural institutions scramble. The Catherine Palace has a treasure, the Amber Room.
Mm-hmm.
Curators try to dismantle it, but multiple accounts say that the Amber Room had dried and become so brittle over the years, making the removal of it so dangerous.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So they shift to concealing it. They put wallpaper up in plaster in hopes that the Nazis would not find it.
I mean, yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, in theory, yes. One Nazi soldier ended up, like, they're going through rooms trying to find it. It's like they know it's there. One Nazi soldier ends up finding, like, a piece of the wall starting to come away. He peels back the wallpaper, and there's glowing underneath. Peels back the rest, yells out, hey, it's here.
Oh, no.
36 hours and 27 crates to dismantle this entire room.
I kind of understand how they were able to dismantle it without it crumbling. There was all that wallpaper on top of it, keeping it in place.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Because you would think that they would think about that and they wouldn't take the wallpaper off of it. They would leave it the way it is and they'd dismantle it.
I mean, yeah, that's a possibility.
It makes sense.
Well, the Amber Room is now looted by the German forces. But the key point is that the Nazis, they didn't just steal the art. The Amber Room was treated as special property. The Germans made it, therefore the Germans own it, even though it was gifted. The entire thing this wasn't a careful museum move. It was a military extraction. It's revealing, it suggests planning, expertise, and the urgency. 36 hours.
Yeah.
And in mid-October 1941, it was reassembled and put on display in Königsberg. So at this point, the Amber Room was basically a hostage being paraded around.
How come nobody did anything about it? Like they just let them keep it and keep moving it around, or they just moved around so fast that nobody could catch up with them?
Well, I mean, we're talking about the Nazis. What is the world going to do against the Nazis trying to steal everything?
I guess that's true. It's a little fucked up that we're talking about the Nazis, but you got to understand that everyone knows them for one specific thing. but they were into so many other things.
Mhm.
So, okay, yeah, I get it.
Well, it was on display in Königsberg, I think, for about 2 years. And there's one name that we need to remember, Alfred Rode. He was the museum director on where it was displayed, and he was an amber expert. He was pretty much described in history as the caretaker of the amber room after it was stolen and on display.
Okay.
He's the guy that knew everything about it, and he's one of the last people we can anchor the room to with, like, any confidence.
So they stole the amber room, but they needed somebody to take care of it and make sure that it stayed preserved. So they hired this guy to do it.
Yep, and that's Alfred Rode.
Okay.
Like, it was reported in newspapers and many announcements that it was on expedition. Several years later, historians point to, like, November 13, 1941, describing that, like, the amber room was on display. So now we know for sure that that's where it was at. That's when it was at as well. So there's a moment where ordinary people are walking through it like, wow. And then they don't know and don't realize that very soon it's going to be a ghost. Around like 1943, 1944, the war was turning, and there are accounts that Rode is advised to, like, dismantle the amber room and crate it off somewhere else. We're getting towards the end of the war, so what are the Nazis going to want to do? Keep it. Still keep it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take it all down again. Let's move it around and save it. And then Königsberg gets hammered by bombing, including, like, heavy raids in August 1944. So the whole city is getting demolished.
Huh.
So where is the amber room? It's either in the castle or it's not in the castle. But either way, the entire city is on fire. The last clean paper trail goes dark right around this period.
I wonder if they kind of knew that something was coming and got the amber room out of the area before any of that started happening.
That's what they were trying to do. I mean, the Germans were losing the war.
Uh-huh.
So let's take it all down, crate it.
Get it out of here.
Yeah. Well, post-war investigations arrive, and they conclude that it's gone, possibly destroyed. There are many searches, and some elements of the amber room was found. And then
Like what?
just small panels, parts of amber, parts of gems were found within the rubble.
Okay, so just like scraps of things that they dropped while they were picking it all up. Okay.
And then that's it. So in 1944, it's gone.
And no one's seen it since.
Not exactly. The entire room, no. But we'll get to that.
Okay.
There are a couple of first-hand accounts, but remember, like, first-hand doesn't always mean it's the truth.
Okay.
But it does mean direct contact with events.
Okay.
Well, remember Rode?
Yes.
He is witness one in a letter he wrote in 1944. We have reported a letter from Alfred Rode, dated September 2nd, 1944, where he claims the amber room survived, except for missing and damaged lower panels. This letter is quoted in a later reporting and analysis. So, after the bombs, he's saying it's still here, or at least survived so far.
Did he say where it was, or he just said, it's still here, I've seen it?
He has. In one detailed account, Rhodes' son later recalls his father saying that the amber room has been moved to a safe place. Like, it's vague, safe place. Like, it could be a cellar, a bunker, a castle, a ship, but it's
or
safe.
Or maybe in an actual safe.
Mm-hmm. We'll get to that. We'll get to a safe soon.
Okay. This is interesting. I don't know anything about the amber room at all.
We have another witness. Oh, I'm so sorry for people. Victor Brusov.
Okay.
He wrote in his diary, a huge piece of post-war testimony comes from a Soviet officer tasked with protecting or recovering cultural property. Victor, whose diary was reported examined by a later investigator, in that account, Victor arrives in Königsberg in late May 1945 to search for the amber room, and by early June, he concludes it no longer exists, suggesting it's destroyed possibly by the fire. So he's basically saying it's gone.
If it wasn't gone, he would have found it, basically.
Yeah. At that point, the entire city's on fire. There's rumble everywhere.
Rubble?
Rubble, yeah. That's the right word. And amber can, under high... It can melt slightly.
Under high
I'm not
heat?
gonna get Yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into that because I'm not a scientist. I'm not saying a bunch of shit that may or may not be right, but it can disappear.
Okay.
I have one more witness, Alexander Kuchumov. Kuchmov. He is another post-war figure that appears in the record. A museum director connected him to a guy named Silo. Selo. One account says he searched the ruins and found remains associated with the room, mosaics or elements. Yet he also remained convinced at least parts of the amber room were removed. Some of it burned, some of it vanished. It was partially recovered. And if it was partially recovered, where the hell is it? Well, before we get into the theories, what do you think could have happened? Do you have anything?
Well, I know that he who shall not be named built a bunch of caves everywhere, tunnels, weird ass structures that he would abandon right in the middle. Like he would be building them. It would be a project and he would abandon the project right in the middle.
Mhm.
So, I mean, maybe it's deep in one of the tunnels that he built.
It's possible. Really, there's no wrong answers.
I did hear about a lake that it could be in, a lake or a river or something.
Mhm.
And you told me about how divers went into this particular lake, but it's so treacherous that they can't get down far enough to explore enough to be able to find anything.
Yeah, I cannot remember the name of the lake. I've been searching on it for a couple of hours. I do know it's in Poland. It's very deep, very large, and when divers go down into it, they can only get so far because all the trees were dumped on top of everything. So there's a first-hand account of farmers seeing Nazi soldiers toss crates into this lake. Who knows what was in it, what's in the crates, and I don't know if it was natural or if the Germans did it intentionally, but there are tons of trees that were like put into the lake or they fell where when you dive into it, there's so much debris down there that it gets to a point where you don't know what's up and down and it's unsafe to get to.
That sounds intentional.
Yeah, it very well could be. So it's possible that the amber room could be in there. It is one of the lakes that there is, I'm not saying with absolute certainty, but there is stories of Nazi loot being in there, but you just can't get to it. Well, the first theory is that it burned in Königsberg. It's the most accepted explanation among many historians. The Amber Room was just burnt, lost, destroyed, all in the chaos of the bombings.
It's the most simple explanation.
Yeah. Several sources point out that when it was heavily bombed in 1944 and later fought over, it also reduced the fact that the Soviet Union could have taken it. So the Soviet Union, they're trying to find it because they don't want to be blamed. I destroyed the Amber Room.
Okay.
Like, who wants that on them?
Yeah, I know. So they're being accused of stealing it and destroying it. So they want to find it so they can be like, look, it's right here. We did not destroy it.
Exactly. But the problem is, like, the amber doesn't behave like wood. When it burns, it melts.
Mm-hmm.
So it very well could have just been demolished during the bombings.
But if it was melted, you'd still be able to find it because it's not gone. It's going to be in pools, hardened again.
Exactly. But, I mean, we're not scientists. We weren't there. Who really knows? But in my head, that's what I would think.
Yeah. So if it was there and it just burnt up and melted, they'd still be able to find it. They would find pools of amber sitting around the area that it was in. And they haven't found that.
No.
And you would think that they would have looked for that because they're probably smarter than we are.
Yeah.
So,
but like, that's actually part of the argument some are reporting. Like, the physical properties of the amber make complete disappearance plausible under intense fire and destruction. So they're trying to claim that with how heavy the fire was and how hot it was, it just completely disintegrated.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that theory, but I'm not a scientist. I don't know exactly how that stuff works,
No.
but I'm thinking it melts, it hardens, it's still going to be there. Even if it's just a thin layer, it's going to be there.
Well, they also believe that it was hidden in or near Königsberg, in bunkers, cellars, or tunnels. So remember again, Alfred Road. He said if it survived in 1944 and if it was moved to a safe place, that safe place would have been a network of castle cellars tunnels, wartime bunkers, or like storage sites. Like it never left the city, it just sank underground.
Uh-huh.
But then the counter argument to that is there has been a lot of searching. Post-war destruction and structures complicate this entire thing. But the bunker theory persists to be true because there's so many secret rooms. Only 10% of these tunnels have ever been discovered.
I bet
Because with
that's where it is.
all the bombings, everything, the tunnels got blocked off, caved in.
Yeah. When you're exploring these tunnels, they could have walked straight past the amber room and not even known it, because they didn't know that there was a chamber that they were walking past because it was caved in. So it could have been right there. What I'm thinking is the lake. I mean, the lake would have been a good place to hide it, but if the Nazis wanted to come back and get it, they can't get to it either if it's in the lake.
And yeah. At that point, it more sounds like, shit, we're busted. Let's hide this. If we can't have it, no one else can.
That would make sense then for them to put it in the lake, because if they're just going to like cut their losses and be like, we can't keep this, but we don't want to get caught with it, let's throw it down in here. But if they wanted to come back and retrieve it later, they would have put it in a cave or a tunnel instead, which means that other people could have found it too, but at least they could have come back and gotten it.
Absolutely.
If it's in the lake, it's gone.
There's another theory that it was moved to another site, like a castle on a castle on a coast. But these claims are hard to verify because, like, memory degrades, stories spread, it just becomes myth.
Mm-hmm.
Another is that it left by sea. There is an operation called Operation Hannibal. Not gonna get too deep into that. Well, now we're at the lake theories, or the ship theories. In the late war, there was evacuations from East Prussia, where massive amounts of cargo were taken away. Kind of like the Germans knew, like, we're losing the war, let's start getting shit out of here. And they were loaded up onto a ship. They believe that the Amber Room was crated onto the ship that was fleeing to the west. One modern claim is that in 2020, divers reported finding the wreck of the ship and noted crates of unknown contents. Well, but the problem is with that is that ship is now considered, like, it's like the Titanic. It's a warship. You don't go down there. Any findings of the ship is now claimed to one country, even though the Amber Room was created by another country. So, like, Poland has claims on it. Russia has claims on it. And to preserve the site, they're just telling everyone, no, we're not going down there anymore. We're not messing with it. So who really knows? But, I mean, it keeps the theory alive.
I have a theory. What if today it's still being moved around?
It could be.
What if there are certain people that know about it and it gets passed down through the generations and it's a very well kept secret, and from then up until today, it is still being moved around.
It is one theory.
And it's never been revealed where it is. It's never been revealed that it even still exists. But certain people, very, very high up, know that it exists and they know exactly where it is.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another theory is that it was taken out by Eric Koch. He was a high-level official. He was a reoccurring suspect who could have ordered it for it to be removed. Conversation is that Eric Koch, some accounts, he discussed the possibility that it was involved in moving cultural loot, and the theories just orbited around it. So crate it up, move it around the country, move it around the world.
Yeah.
It moved alongside of private collections. It was hidden, it was buried, traded, whatever. It could be in mines, salt caverns, industrial storage, because the Nazis hid a lot of valuables in those areas.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's got a hold of this thing. If it is not truly missing, there is absolutely no way that anyone is going to admit it exists or say where it is, and they are not going to get rid of it. They are not going to destroy it because it is worth way too much money.
And you can't sell it.
Yeah. I 100% believe that it exists somewhere and someone knows where it is.
Well, I do too. Another theory is that it was taken by Americans as war loot.
Could be.
I mean,
the government now, our American government now, might know exactly where the Amber Room is. Bet you anything they do.
Yeah, most likely. This theory isn't widely accepted. Um, like, they believe that the Amber Room was discovered by Western allies, which it wasn't. One long-form account notes that, like, the idea in the context of post-war rumor networks that, like, Americans stole it.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of missions to recover different loot. If you're the one who discovers the Amber Room, especially while you're on those missions, you're going to be famous for life. Your name
Yeah,
is going to go down in history.
but since it's worth so much money and they think that they can use it as some kind of leverage later, they're going to keep it a secret at the same time.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie The Monument Men?
A long time ago. I don't remember much about it.
It's a American military operation where they try to recover artifacts.
Uh-huh.
And there was a lot of different things that were going on, a lot of different missions where they were trying to discover these things. So if they had
Was Bill
found the
Murray in
Amber
that
Room,
movie?
I think so. George Clooney was.
I think we're
yeah.
talking. I think we're thinking the same movie.
And then, of course, the last theory, which we just discussed, about someone holding it privately.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if someone did, wouldn't they brag?
No. If you have something that's worth that much money, someone's going to come after you for it. They're not going to tell anyone. Money is
No,
more
probably
important
not.
than fame, especially if you have like a plan for it later or something. No, they're not going to tell anybody they have it. And I'll bet you anything they make up theories on purpose to just throw people off their trail.
I mean, yeah, that's possible. Well, so here is why it's so hard to solve. The Amber Room had disappeared in a place that was heavily bombed. It was burnt, it was fought over, looted, reoccupied, and it was, like, politically transformed. Like, evidence didn't just get lost, it was pulverized. So we're basically looking for a ghost in a city that got turned into dust and then renamed.
Mm.
And we're also dealing with, like, propaganda, secrecy, post-war incentives, and lies. Everyone had something to gain. Like, if you're a Nazi official, you might hide the theft. If you're a Soviet officer, you might lie to admit that you were the one who destroyed the Amber Room.
Yeah.
If you're a treasure hunter, you gotta lie for the money. If you're a witness, you might honestly, like, misremember information or trauma. So, like, every single statement anyone has is contaminated.
Yeah. I mean, if I stumbled upon it somehow, I'd be like, hey, everybody, it's right here. It's right here.
Yeah.
Like, because I want to, like,
Nowadays,
bust the conspiracy open, you know?
Yes. And I'm sure you would get, like, a percentage of like, a finder's fee, like, a very small percentage, which would be a lot of money. But you want to be the person, I did this. Guess what I found?
I wouldn't do it for the money. I wouldn't do
No.
it for the attention. I'd do it just to be like, it's right here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I get it. It's been gone for 80 years. I found it. Guess what?
Yeah. Like, truth right here, you guys. Truth.
Yeah.
Because there's none in the world today. There's no truth.
No.
And I do have a different theory. You know how they tried to hide it in plain sight by wallpapering it and covering it up?
Yeah.
If the American government has it, maybe it's one of the rooms in the White House.
Come on.
Anything is possible. It could be.
Well, it should be in, like, Fort Knox or something, or in the Rocky Mountains. Well, so currently, like, despite numerous searches, like, the original room remains lost. But a room has been fully reconstructed as a replica. It was completed in 2003, and it's now in the Catherine Palace in St. Petersburg. But there has been claims of parts of it being found.
Okay.
In 1997, Italian stone mosaic called Feel and Touch, that was part of the set of the Amber Room, was found in Germany in the possessions of a family of the soldier who claimed to have helped pack up the Amber Chamber.
Oh, so he kept part of it?
That's what's said. That part of the mosaic came into the hands of the Russian authorities and was used for the reconstruction of the current Amber Room, the recreation.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Like, you can see part of it.
What is the recreation made out of? It's not amber.
And not solely amber.
Probably like a resin.
Yeah, a type of resin. I think that room is estimated at like $11 million versus the actual Amber Room is $500 million. In 1998, two separate teams, one German and one Lithuanian, announced that they had located the Amber Room. The German team pointed to a silver mine, while the Lithuanian team believed that the amber treasure was buried in a lagoon. Neither of the two locations turned up.
Is a lagoon like a marsh? Like, you know how all of the planes in the Andes crash landed there and sunk? Like, that's one of the theories. Would a lagoon be the same way? Like, sunk down into the soil, like the marsh?
I'm not sure. It's a small body of water, I know. But no, I'm not really sure what a lagoon is.
Me either.
In 2004, a lengthy investigation begun in which concluded that the Amber Room was destroyed in 1945. Official assessments set out in documents from the Russian National Archives written by the head of the Soviet Union team charged with locating the Amber Room following the war, and the theory was agreed upon that it was destroyed. They pretty much summarized it as saying the Soviets wanted to say that, as we talked about, it wasn't destroyed, it's missing because we did not destroy it.
But there's no way we would destroy it.
No.
There's no way anyone would destroy it. It's worth too much money.
Yeah. In October 2020, Polish divers in the Baltic Tech group found the wreck of the SS Karl Rusch. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the ship that was on Operation Hannibal. A sea evacuation which allowed more than 1 million German troops and civilians from East Prussia to escape the Soviet forces. As we talked about, like, they could not get in. They could not find anything. There are crates down there, and they are very large crates, but you can't bring them up. Because they're in the marsh. It's a protected ship. It's very possible.
If they even tried to bring the crates up, the crates would probably fall apart in the process.
Yeah, so they would have to lift them up very slowly to, one, preserve the wood, to keep it from falling apart. They would have to have another boat alongside with a scientific team on it that restores and, I'm trying to find the actual word, takes care of the artifacts, that they know how to preserve it. And it's just an incredibly lengthy and expensive process.
You don't think that they would do that, seeing how valuable the Amber Room is? You don't think that they would take that time and spend that money in order to recover it?
No, I don't think so. Which makes me believe that someone knows where it's at.
Someone definitely knows where it's at. I'll bet it's hiding in plain sight like everything else.
Probably. In 2025, Polish authorities have granted permission for archaeologists to survey and drilling in northern Poland, a location long rumored to hide wartime secrets. Leading the charge is American treasure hunter John Delinkowski, who spent a decade following clues, including alleged deathbed testimonies of the Nazi official Erich Koch. And Koch described that there's hidden bunkers everywhere. They even brought him out to try to point out, here's where it's at, and nothing came about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, because he who must not be named, he dug a lot of those. He had a lot of bunkers everywhere. He had tunnels, he had caves, all kinds of weird shit all over the place.
Yep.
He even had something in Antarctica, some kind of base in Antarctica.
Yeah, they think that it was trying to create a UFO base, or he had a UFO base, or something.
Yeah, there was something about how there was a group of very, very high officials that were doing something with alien shit, and he wanted to be involved, and they were like, no. You cannot be on our club.
No.
You suck, nerd.
Yeah.
That's a very, very primitive way to put it, because I don't know much about it.
Yeah, no, neither do I. Well, in 1979, the Soviet government decided to construct a replica of the Amber Room. It took 24 years to do that. It required 40 Russian and German experts in the amber craftsmanship. What had originally taken 7 years to do now is taking 40 years to do.
Why?
It's a lost art. It's expensive.
Okay.
They replicated it by using the original drawings and old black and white photographs, and they were trying to make every attempt to replicate it. That's also why it took so long.
Mm-hmm.
It included 350 shades of amber in the original panels and fixtures. And the biggest problem was the lack of skilled workers.
Yeah.
It's a lost art form.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, the more time has gone on, the more people got into mass production, meaning that they found ways to manufacture things faster and easier. And so they don't take the time to manufacture things the way that they used to. And yeah, that would make it a lost art.
Yeah. And in order for them to complete it, there was a $3.5 million donation from a German company in order to even complete it. Otherwise, it would have never been done.
Wow.
So it finally finished in 2003, and the new room was dedicated by the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. It was for the 300th anniversary of the city in St. Petersburg, from like the Catherine Palace, where it was stolen from. So it's like, okay, let's make a replica, let's give it back to where it belongs. That's cool.
It's cool, but it sucks that it's not the original. And then it just kind
Yeah.
of bugs you, like, where is the original? That would bug the hell out of me.
Oh, but it is neat that you can go to St. Petersburg and see what it used to be.
It is cool, but in the back of your mind, you know, like, I'm not looking at the original, so it doesn't mean as much.
Yeah. But it's still so grand.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, here's some quick facts. The Amber Room is the biggest thing that the German soldiers stole that's still missing. Like, it's amazing that the Amber Room is the number one thing that the Germans stole. It's never been found, but with everything else that was stolen, there's so much that's still missing. And it doesn't even equate to what the Amber Room is. Like, 20% of the art in Europe was looted by Nazis. And there are well over 100,000 items that haven't even been found yet. It's estimated that the German forces and other Nazi agents before and during the World War II have seized or coerced the sale of 1/5 of all of Western art in existence, of about 250,000 pieces.
I'll bet you anything that's why he built all those bunkers and everything.
Yeah.
To hide all the shit he was stealing.
Things that are still missing: a Degas, a Rembrandt, a Van Gogh, a Raphael, and it's estimated that $37 billion worth of art is still missing. And that's outside of the Amber Room. In 2012 in Munich, 1,500 pieces of art was discovered at a home of Cornelius Gerlit. He was the son of a German art dealer. 200 to 300 of the pieces were looted by the Germans. So they found like anywhere from 200 to 300 pieces just in this one house.
Wow. Did he have anything to do with anything?
Well, his dad was a German art dealer.
Okay, there you go. Did you say that before and I didn't catch it?
Yes.
Okay. I was just trying not to laugh because of the way you said his last name. Okay.
In 2015 in Poland, 2 amateur explorers claimed to have found the rumored train, the gold train. You remember hearing about the gold train?
I don't think so.
Just a train full of gold that was looted throughout all of Europe that went lost.
Okay.
They believed that they had found it, that it was sealed in a tunnel. Only 10% of the tunnel has ever been explored.
Why is
you
that?
You can't get to it because
they think it's going to collapse.
Everything collapsed. Yeah. And it would be too expensive and too dangerous to try to do it right now. In 2025 in Ohio, yeah, there was 2 oil copper still life paintings that were found in a bank safe in Texas that went to auction in Ohio.
Wow.
And the paintings were identified as Nazi plunder that was last seen in Hitler's Munich headquarters.
I'm pretty proud of us because I think that's the very first time we've said the H word.
I think I've said it a couple of times.
Oh, I just say
So,
he who must not be named. Everybody hates him. Everybody knows who we're talking about.
yeah. So, I mean, things are still being discovered, and there is national archives of artwork. When artwork goes to auction or museums take in pieces, they cross-reference it to see if it went missing in other countries so they can return it back to where it belongs.
Cool. So what happened to those? Did they get returned? What was found in Texas?
It's in the process right now.
Wow. 2025, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say
wow.
it was July 2025 in Columbus, Ohio, or Newark, Ohio, somewhere around Columbus.
Wow.
So, I mean, like the deep layer here is the Amber Room became a symbol because it was moved not just for money, but it was a power play. It's about identity, Prussia's craftsmanship, Russia's imperial display, the Nazis' ideology, like this belongs to us. The Soviets lost, they took our heritage. So when it vanishes, like it's not just an art mystery, it's trauma.
Yeah. And I have not really a theory, but what if they took it and moved it around just as a joke? Like they thought it was funny. Because you think of all these people, like political people being real serious and everything, but as I'm looking into certain people, they play practical jokes on each other. And like, there's a rumor that Ben Franklin wasn't allowed to write part of the Declaration of Independence because he would have snuck a joke in. So what if the Nazis just thought it was funny? What if it was just like a big practical joke and they were just kind of laughing at people as they're looking for it? I know it was probably more than that. I mean, it was so valuable, but I can see them being like, yeah, they're never going to find it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, in Argentina, artifacts have come up. They found artifacts all around the world. There's theories that the Amber Room could be in Japan, it could be in Argentina, Brazil, Poland, America. Well, I mean, if anyone out there has the Amber Room in their basement, like, please call us first. Let us know.
What are we going to do? We just be like, cool. Oh, we won't tell anyone, I promise. At least we know now where it is.
Yeah. But that is all I know for now in the Amber Room.
That was pretty interesting.
Well, so everyone do all the things that really help us out. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, give feedback.
Yeah, leave us a review on Apple, Spotify, or iHeart. What's up next?
And I don't know, what do you have next?
I have Lake Lanier. That's my next one.
Okay.
What's yours?
Working on a couple of things. I don't want to say it, because what if I don't get to it for a couple of months? I don't want to tell people.
That's true. Okay, well, tune in next week for Lake Lanier. And thanks for listening.
And have a good night.
Have a good night.